What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new commentary video. And today we're actually not talking about mental health. Today we're actually doing something that I do every once in a while, which is where I talk about something that's going on in the world. And we got something I want to really talk about. And so there's a couple different things that I really want to touch on in this video. So I want to talk about what's going on in the current Pirate Software drama, along with what's going on with Borderlands 2, because they kind of connect. So first of all, we should talk a little bit about Pirate Software. So I think that I should clarify. Pirate Software is somebody that I've enjoyed his content for like over a year at this point. If you don't know who he is a game developer that has a YouTube channel here as well as a Twitch channel. And he streams and he plays his games and he shows how his development is going with his game and all that great stuff. And a reason why I liked him is because he's somebody that likes to be a bit more philosophical. He likes to be logical. He likes to talk about mental health a bit. And, you know, he gives some great tips. And I've suggested him to people before because I like what he stands for. And we're not talking about him in a positive light today. I'm actually quite frustrated with the guy. So I think best place to start really actually starts this holiday. Pirate Software got in trouble because this one's really dumb. He got in trouble because he made a stream where they were playing basically permadeath World of Warcraft. If your character dies, you have to reset. You have to make a new character. And Pirate Software had him and his team in a bad situation. All of his team dies. He runs away. He's the only one that survives. And this was the drama, right? Because people were like, "Oh my God, he killed his team," blah, 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 whatever. And look, I don't really care. That's a drama for the unemployed. I do not care, but I want to bring it up because it is important. Because at the end of the day, he was responsible for their deaths, right? It doesn't matter to me because it's still unemployed, pointless drama. But here is what happens. So Pirate then proceeds to, kind of get in some more drama over the next couple months. And that's because he has more people looking at him more than ever, trying to give him shit. And most of his dramas I felt were pointless until about a week ago, where somebody brought up a video where Pirate was talking about the ongoing movement called Stop Killing Games. Now, this is the movement that was put together by another content creator. And basically the goal is that it's doing exactly what it says. It's trying to stop killing games. And what it means by this is in a lot of cases, a lot of these MMOs, a lot of these games that people are paying for go offline. And there's no way to access the content in the game. One of the prime examples of this is, of course, The Crew. The original Crew went offline, and a lot of people were up in arms because there was no way to play the game offline, and there was people still actively playing the game, people that enjoyed the game. But instead, it was taken away from people. There's no active way to play that game. And that's where this movement comes in. The movement is basically saying, stop ruining online games, stop ruining games by forcing us and giving us no option to play it. And that's why I chose Bloodborne today as the gameplay, because this is a game that is locked behind the PS4. And I bought a PS4 just for this game the same day that I'm recording this, because I want to play this game bad, but there's no other way to play it. And so Pirates basically, as a game dev, is saying, no, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. You guys should not be demanding that single player games should remove their DRM for protection. DRM is basically a way to check that you actually own the game. This is a way to try to get around piracy and to basically allow developers to make money off of their games. That was not at all what the movement was about. The movement had nothing to do with DRM. Now, sure, a little bit, which we're going to talk about, but really what their goal is here is that they want to be able to play their games as they see fit. They should be allowed to enjoy their video games that they paid for. And the DRM argument. So basically, DRM is a way for, like I mentioned, for developers to make money. Essentially how it works is that you essentially have encrypted the game, and the game is going to check for this encrypted file and make sure that you actually own the game. And you can only own this file if you actually own the game, is the idea. So this way, if somebody goes and pirates it, the game will not run, or there will be issues with the game that refuses the player to continue. And for some reason, Pirate thought that that's what they meant. They didn't. What they particularly were talking about was DRM that is outdated. A good example of this is Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2 is a game that you cannot play right now because of classic DRM from back in the day from Windows. Was that Vista? Was Vista 2007? It doesn't matter. The point is that they are saying, look, we are not asking you to give us the ability to play the game with no DRM. But what we are asking you is to not use a DRM option that then requires us that we cannot play the game on modern hardware. This is what you can't do with Assassin's Creed 2 right now. You cannot play Assassin's Creed 2 because the DRM is outdated and on Windows 10, Windows 11, whatever operating system you are using, and the modern version of Steam, you cannot play the fucking game. The game that they are still selling on Steam. So let's recap. Basically, they want developers to stop taking away our online games that we pay for, and they want to stop taking away single-player games that we paid for. Seems fair enough, right? Well, Pirate doesn't think so. For some reason, Pirate thinks that they want them to remove all sorts of anti-piracy measures. Now, I want to talk about that. Pirate is somebody that is relatively anti-piracy, but he's not like super staunch against it. And he puts it in a really good way. He talks about how piracy is typically a cause of economics. It's not because they want to steal from you. And that's a really good point because I completely agree. Now, I don't pirate things. I purchase basically all the media I consume unless there's some dumb reason why I can't consume it. For example, 28 days later, I still cannot just stream on Netflix or HBO. Instead, I have to rent it or buy a Blu-ray for stupid expensive because people know that, right? Because they know what they're worth. And no offense, I'm not fucking renting a movie from the 90s. Like, I'm not. I should be able to click play now online. Like that is how that should work, ladies and gentlemen. But the point is that basically people just want to be able to experience their media in a way that is acceptable for them and that there's not some dumb hoops that they need to jump around because of decisions made by the developers. And Pirate is somebody that has actually found interesting ways around people pirating his games, which is 100% his right. For example, his game Heartbound, basically the way how the game checks to see if you own the game is by going through and checking your achievement logs on your first playthrough. And so basically when you do this is that if you can unlock the achievements, you can't play the game. And it works great. And I think that's actually a smart way for Pirate to be able to get around piracy measures and also not screw people over. I agree with that. 100% good on him. I really, really like that idea. However, I think it's really hypocritical to then get mad when people say, hey, we shouldn't have DRM issues in our video games. That shouldn't be an issue. I shouldn't have the game unplayable 10 years later because you guys decided to use something that isn't helpful to the player base and is really just detrimental and is basically spyware, right? And Pirate instead basically boiled down the argument to be, well, they're saying that 1 + 1 = 3, and they're saying that's okay. That's basically what he's boiling the argument down to. And I think that's really disingenuous into what this cause is about. And what made this worse is that Pirate didn't make these statements and then say, okay, I apologize, I misunderstood. To this day, to this moment, he is still standing on business. Now, he made a tweet basically saying, hey, I do not take back any of the things that I said. Now, he deleted the tweet. And people thought that meant, oh, wait, maybe Pirate realized. No. Yesterday, he went on stream and proceeded to talk about how much Stop Killing Games is awful and how he still completely agrees with the opinions that he had in the video and that he also is going to ban people that mention it. Are you kidding me? That is unfair, and that is straight up awful for the consumer. Which is ironic, because Pirate is somebody that's been very pro-consumer. He's made great videos talking about how you shouldn't be using VPNs. He's made great videos talking about how you shouldn't agree to the terms of service that Adobe Photoshop is putting forth because of the use of AI. and other bad practices, which leads us into the Borderlands 2 topic that I want to talk about. Borderlands 2 recently updated their terms of service, and Borderlands 3 updated their terms of service, basically saying, hey, if you are going to play our games, we can steal your shit and then put it in our shit. Basically saying that if you record a video in our game, we can use that if you want. And look, I think it's bad, right? And Pirate was somebody that also said this was bad. But for some reason, he doesn't think that DRM fucking literally locking up games that are 10 years old because they decided to use an outdated thing and never decided to update it, and that it doesn't work with modern OSs. Really? You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Like that's my issue, is that you can't be really picky choosy and say, you know what, today I support the consumer, but as soon as they want to attack developers slightly for being lazy, go fuck yourself is basically the argument. And I'm really tired of it. I'm really tired of these streamers, these content creators having these weird double standards. I think that it's wrong, and I think that they need to be held accountable. Now, look, I don't think Pyro is going to learn, because there's been a couple moments now in his career where he's been really cocky, and I think that he is cocky. He has a big ego. He was a big-headed Blizzard. And look, that's great. I'm proud of the dude. He's clearly good at what he does, right? He is. But that does not mean that you get to go around and harass people and misrepresent what their movements are about. Because now the movement's basically dead. And they don't blame Pyro 100, not Pyro, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Pirate. They don't blame Pirate 100%, but they blame him partly. And I would agree with that. It's not all a Pirate's fault, but a good part of it is. And he should be apologizing, and he should be like, hey, look, I really am sorry for misrepresenting you. Instead, he's literally doing the opposite. He's banning people in his chat for mentioning the drama. That doesn't seem very mature to me. That doesn't seem like somebody that knows what they're doing, or somebody that really wants to improve and learn. It seems like the opposite to me. But anyways, guys, I just kind of wanted to hop on and talk about it because I'm kind of frustrated with it. But yeah, guys, so I know that today's a little different, but this whole thing is really kind of made me a little angry, and I wanted to sit down and talk about it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I know it's kind of all over the place, but I just kind of feel like talking every once in a while. I like to get this shit off my chest and just express to you what's been going on in the world. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I am out. Peace.